Daughters of the sacred moon, this is a call to all shadow witches. The blue moon in Scorpio on May 31st packed a huge punch, and I'm sure you felt it in your bones. And whether you tuned in consciously or did any workings for this moon or not, you may have felt raw, like every secret was exposed and every thought was being examined. Or you may have felt a distance or disconnect. Whatever you felt, there was an intensity to it, an urgency that something had to be done. I don't take shadow magic lightly, and what I mean by shadow magic, it means you're working at uncovering your own personal shadow to bring it into light and find your true essence of what that lesson of that shadow teaches you, whether it's from a past difficulty, something that you find unsettling in the world today. You're working with it to bring it to light. Also, it means you go deep, and practicing witchcraft of this kind is an alchemy. And whether you do rituals, chants, will link the physical world of our 3D reality with the spiritual world of metaphysical reality. And this is something that we are learning through the study of the science of quantum physics, also astrophysics, because we're dealing with the movement of the stars and planets, and it deals with light, it deals with vibration, it deals with frequency, and their effects on our physical reality. And that is what magic really is. Hi, I'm Beth Natalie Hansen, and I have been walking the Witch's Road for over 30 years and am currently a solitary witch and star priestess. As a certified true sidereal astrologer, I use all 13 constellations, including Ophiuchus, in the zodiac as they are in their full sizes. And this differs from the popular Western tropical astrology. And to help you understand what all that means for you, I do have a free PDF, and it is linked below, and it's called Unlock the New Zodiac. So you'll want to grab that. So pause the video, click the link below, grab that. You'll get that directly to your inbox so you can understand what's happening in the real sky. Sound good? Here's how it's done. The mind gives the purpose, an intention, or spell, which is then cast or transmitted on the frequency of your choice via the signal of thought and consciousness. So that's how you turn your dial, and it will be received by the metaphysical. Whether you are calling on elemental energies, earth, air, fire, water, or spirit, or you're calling to a particular god, goddess, guardian, guide, this is the frequency you're sending that message on. And this is all to achieve the desired result that your brain put in a little packet and sent on that signal, okay? And if you use True Sidereal Astrology, for example, this last full moon, you would have dialed into the frequency of the full moon in the constellation of Scorpio as it was conjunct in the heavens from the Earth's point of view, because you're using, and so it was conjunct the royal star Antares, also known as the Watcher of the West. So the moon, they were conjunct there, and the universe gets the message. The universe responds. You face your ancestors, you face your gods, you face your guides, you face that shadow that you're working on, and they say, go deep, go within, take your medicine. Because Scorpio is all about the medicine. And while you were processing all this, while you were doing your working, they also, the divine ones, the guides, the spirit showed you what was needed for that medicine and how to create it, how to make it. And they gave you what you needed and the prescription of how to bring it into your world, into the 3D over the next 2 weeks of shadow work, which is what we're going to be going over. However, if you were working with the tropical astrology, which said that this was a full moon in Sagittarius, there's no amplification of the signal beyond the moon. You get to the moon knows that from Earth's point of view, the moon is not in Sagittarius. So you may have felt a disconnect or some sort of disruption and think that was the magic. And there may have been a lot of heavy lifting with the energy. It required more of everything from you and maybe even took from your own energy. And were you super surprised or even shocked when the moon said, go deep, go within, take your medicine? When you thought it was going to be, let's expand, let's explore philosophy, let's be optimistic, let's bring in luck, and no prescription was given. The one is definitely needed. And I promise you, I will help you discover how to find your medicine later in this video. Grab your notebook now and start taking notes. We're going to get into that in just a minute. So right now, the true sky is showing us exactly what's going on. So you're going to want to grab that pen and paper while I pull up the stars and the charts for the coming 2 weeks. And I'm going to be using the stellarium.org. It's a free software for astronomy. Let's pull them up and see what patterns are being made. What kind of web is the universe weaving around Mother Earth right now? On June 4th, the waning gibbous moon was conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. And when you look on the screen and see this Capricornus, that's Capricorn. The red line is the ecliptic. That's the line that the sun follows, and all the planets follow and circle around the sun along that line as time goes by. So the moon is clearly visible under the chin of this goatfish, and the little crosshairs that represents Pluto, and I have it pulled up here in stellarium. So it is a planet. It's a dwarf planet in the Kuiper belt, a ring of bodies. So this sets the stage for shadow work. This is the big confrontation. Moon, you need to do some healing here. Our first chart, we've got, there's the moon conjunct Pluto and also trine Uranus and Ceres in Taurus. There's a creative flow there, but it's also got this undercurrent of a quincunx with Mercury saying, whatever you do, you're probably going to have to share it with others. This is something that you're going to have to speak out loud. And if it means speaking out loud just at your altar, it can be that. But you're going to have to do that. And there is this minor grand trine that's been floating along for a long time with Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. And Neptune is in Pisces along with his friend Saturn and Vesta, which is the goddess of the hearth, the goddess of purity, and she is unmarried goddess of the hearth. So this is somebody who, is the powerful single woman. It is the priestess energy. It is the witch energy, and it is purifying everything that surrounds it. So we're going to be going through this, and that will be how that's where we're really going to learn about the medicine. But first, when the moon is in its last quarter moon phase. So let's pull up that star chart, and you can see it's at the end of Aquarius, just about to enter Pisces. And you can see right here, there's Neptune, Vesta, and Saturn as promised, right where I said they'd be. And below Aquarius's foot, we have Pisces Austrinus, where we have Fomolo, the watcher of the south. So very much present in this time. The moon would have passed Fomolo earlier, but this is that last quarter moon. This is your checkpoint, for the cycle of this moon, which started out as a new moon in Taurus. And there's going to be fun things happening in just a minute because we're going to get to that. So we have that going on, and let me show you the chart on June 8th, the last quarter moon in Taurus, trine our friends Venus and Jupiter. And you can see they're conjunct, not quite exact, but they're getting there. And it is also in a creative sextile, the creative connection between Mercury, Mars, and the moon forming. So we have that little jump all the way to Mercury, who is also activating the energies of Neptune, Vesta, and Saturn in Pisces. All of that is happening here on this quarter moon saying, hey, check, 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 we got to check this. And of course, because it is a quarter moon, that means the moon is square the sun in Taurus. So the sun is in this like really mellow place of Taurus, enjoying a little bit of the garden and all that, and the moon is like, I'm really feeling what our people need here. I think we need more than a garden. I think we need something else. And it's like, well, you get the prescription and bring it here. But first, let's pull up June 9th, the stars, the moon, Saturn, Vesta, Neptune, all in Pisces, that place of spirituality, creation, intuition, of understanding the give and take, the push and pull of two different forces. We have the moon with Neptune and Saturn and Vesta all together to create the medicine that we need to go forward. So we got the prescription, this is a new prescription since the full moon, and wait, what we got from Scorpio. So this is the new one, because Vesta will purify whatever Neptune dreams up, and Saturn will test, weigh, and verify that it is of good use, and will give you the dosage as you move forward. So, this is that shadow energy. This is that working. This is what you need to do going forward. So, the day after the quarter, the moon, we have our chart for June 9th, and it clearly shows moon conjunct with Uranus and Vesta, just 2 degrees from Saturn in Pisces. And all of these are connected. We do have that tension point from Pluto to Jupiter. But the other thing we have here is Jupiter and Venus are conjunct perfectly. And I will show you that up on the screen here. So I'm going to pull that screen up. And there is the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter. Now, the other thing we want to note, going back to our chart here, is that also in Gemini, we have Mercury. It's making all the squares to all 4 of our friends now in Pisces. And this is where the medicine is truly happening, especially as we step into the next day. All that medicine that we got, that was purified by Vesta and measured out and delivered to us by Saturn, is now entering the stage of, okay, we went through the purification. Now we need to act on that. We need to take our medicine. We need to make sure we're doing it right. So there's the moon in Aries checking in via a square with Pluto, saying, hey, am I doing this right? Is this what you were directing me to do? Is this how I'm supposed to move forward? And he says, sure, yeah, might want to check in with Jupiter to see what needs to be expanded upon what I told you. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm already there. I'm checking in with Jupiter. I've got a square to Jupiter. I'm doing that too. So we have all that happening. I mean, this is action oriented stuff. Anytime you see a square, action must be taken. And when it's in Aries, Aries is all about getting to the action of whatever is happening. It's not digging down into the root, it's taking the action. You already did the deep dive with Pluto in Capricorn. You already looked at how this is going to affect others in Aquarius during the quarter moon. And then you went down deep. You did all the deep work through Pisces, the spiritual work, the soul work, and got the medicine and the dose you needed to go forward. Now you take the action. Now, from here, where are we going? We're going to the new moon. You did the good medicine. And as you did that, you're enacting it. You're saying, hey, I got all this good medicine. You're sharing it with Mars in Aries as you pass by him. You're sharing it with Uranus, saying, hey, look at all this good medicine. He's like, oh, yeah, we got good medicine this time around. And then you go over to Ceres, who is our great mother of asteroid belt of millions The largest one, she is called a dwarf planet. She is beautiful. She's actually shiny. And here we have that medicine saying, oh, yeah, you did good, Moon. Let's move on and start another cycle. The moon connects with the sun to create this new moon. And when that happens, as you can see in the sky, all this is happening, and we have the sun and moon at either point of the bull's horns. So the moon is conjunct fixed star Elnath, part of the constellation of Taurus, and the sun is conjunct Zeta Tauri, part of the conjunction with Taurus. And then, of course, down below here, we do have Ceres conjunct with Aldebaran, who is the watcher of the East, and Archangel Michael. It is an incredible, powerful new moon. The last one, everything was conjunct with the Pleiades, but it is building on a theme and taking things to the next level as we move forward. And that is our shadow work for the month. And you can clearly see that with the calendar here for June 2026, starting with that waning gibbous moon on the 1st. That was in Ophiuchus. Yes. Our June began with the moon in Ophiuchus, and then it goes all the way waning crescent, and then it will be close at the end. And that's where we have our new moon. So the beauty of this cycle is that when it comes to doing for shadow witches who work with their shadows and help others work with their shadows, your intuition will be your guide through this process as you discover what are the medicines, what are the rituals, what are the atonements that need to happen in order to bring into being a healthier, better, more connected you. And you might be asking yourself, what does this woman know about shadow when she lives in this beautiful Victorian house? And it's like, it must be nice to be a certified true sidereal astrologer. Well, the truth is, I am coming out of the deepest grief a human being can ever experience, that of the loss of my identical twin in 2021. Yes, my twin sister Jane passed away, and I was there when she did after a long battle with metastatic breast cancer. And she was a warrior and a strong human, and she completed her task here on Earth. And I'm proud of her for doing that. But I miss her, but she is so present with me now. So I have walked through the valley of the shadow of death, and I no longer fear evil. And I did it by calling on my gods and the guides and tapping into and discovering true sidereal astrology to help me understand my patterns, my purpose, and where I'm on my journey. And I looked ahead and I think I want to, at least get to my 80s, if not my 90s, because I have a lot of work to do here. I have a question for you. Did your full moon in Scorpio experience show you what needed to be done and you accepted it and you saw that this was a true Scorpio experience, not a false Sagittarius experience? Did it show you what you needed to heal? Did it guide you through the tough stuff? Whether it did or not, you just got your prescription based on what the real stars are saying, in the loving comfort of the healing, creative, spiritual energy of Pisces. Less harsh, less dramatic. But if you didn't, then it's definitely time for you to align with the real sky, because only by aligning with the physical universe will your magic and your transmissions be amplified on both the physical world of 3D results and the metaphysical world of your helpers, of your guardians, your guides, your ancestors, God, Goddess, Universe, Great Spirit, whatever the force be with you. That is the energy that's coming through and helping you to realize and expand who you are and who you are meant to be. And as you know, to help you get started, I do have that free PDF, Unlock the New Zodiac, down below, so you can access the magic of the stars and all the constellations. And not only that, I have put together a framework so you can learn to truly align with the real sky. And that's a little space called Zodiac Club 13. And the links for both of these are down below. And that's where you learn to become a true Skywalker. And this course, we're all the way up to the elements, and we're going to be going through the more detailed vision through the houses, how you can harness your magic and your vision along with others. So link is below so you can get started on that, because this is Mother Earth, Gaia, Pachamama, is a living and conscious planet, and she knows her place in the universe. And as her children, we share that place with her. And when we do magic, we call upon her to support us, ground us, and bring it up into being. With every beat of your heart, you create another beat of connection with the energy field known as the toroidal field that links us to Mother Earth. And in magic, we weave the magic of the stars in True Sidereal Astrology through the power of Mother Earth as we draw down the moon, as we bring things out from our deepest being and share them with the stars who are there, who are real, who are listening. Your body is not a container for your soul. Your soul is the life force that surrounds your body. It is the outer aura, and you can extend it out farther than you think. I can reach through here and extend my aura to you through the magic of the internet. And so I have one simple exercise. Did you take notes? Or did you take some screenshots maybe of the charts? Or was there one in particular that stood out to you? If you're not sure, go back and rewatch that section. Or just pick a day, pick the stars, pick the chart, and use soft sight to see what message the stars and their patterns have to teach you. And to do that, soft sight is just merely softening your eyes, closing them a little bit, not all the way, just so things get a little bit blurry, and you reach and you feel with your eyes, with the energy of your eyes, and you look and you decide, ah, that is the piece. And you open them wide and you select that piece. That's the one that will reveal what your next step is. I can't do that for you. I can only tell you how to use your intuition to do that for yourself. So, what happens when you're able to access these stars in your shadow work? It means you have the power of the universe and you can access it. Every star, every space of darkness between the stars, all that empty space, that is where the shadow thrives. And by shadow thriving, I mean the power of Black Moon Lilith and being against the tide and choosing your own path, your own unique self, your own spiritual blueprint. As you work and learn your method, you are going to learn to embody that and get better heart mind coherence, because as you intellectually appreciate things and as a witch, you use your heart and your will in your magic, and things start to blossom for you. Not that there aren't challenges. In fact, you know, as a shadow witch, the challenge is sometimes the whole point. So you get on with it and you accept the challenge and you take the next step. And if you burnt your alchemy and you burnt it and you got to start over from scratch, you have to. And every month you have a lunar return. And if you click the link below and you want to work with me directly, you can certainly do that. So all the links are below. Work with me one-on-one. We can look at your birth chart. We can do some tarot, the solar returns, and you don't have to wait until your solar return to get a solar return reading. Your birthday matters. The stars matter. They tell you what's what. So we can go through all that together. Here's what I have learned over the past 2 years, dedicated as a priestess and witch to the magic of the stars. And that is every time you bring the stars into your practice, you go deeper and become stronger, one magical working at a time. And now that you know how True Sidereal Astrology of June 1st through the 14th empowers daughters of the moon who are shadow witches to align with the real sky, you might be wondering, what's this about this cauldron you were telling me about that has something to do with Jupiter in Cancer? Well, I am putting that right up here, so you can click on that one next. And when you combine what you just learned with what's in this video, oh my goodness, it is way more powerful. We go through the myth of Caradwin and Taliesin, and I'll see you in the next video.